Janice with My Girlfriend's Quilt Shop, and I'm going to show you how to cast on and how to knit and how to purl so that you can make your Appalachian baby Afghan. When you cast on in knitting, it's different than in crochet because you do a slip stitch in crochet and then you just go. In knitting, you have to have the tail be as long as the stitches are that you need to have on your Afghan. So in this one, it calls for 150 stitches. Okay, what you're gonna do in knitting is for every stitch that you have to cast on, you're gonna wrap around your needle. So if you've got to do 150, you're going to wrap that around 150 times, and that will give you the length that you need for your tail to be. So the worst thing when you're knitting is that you are supposed to put on 150 stitches and you end up now you've only got room for 140 because your tail is too short. So wrap that around there. That will give you the length that you need. Right now I'm just going to do about 10 cast on so you can see how I do it. You are going to make a slip knot first, so you're going to just wrap that over, put your loop through there, pull it up, put your needle in, and then with the two tails you're just going to pull it up so that it's taut to the needle. You want to keep it a little bit loose so it still moves, but you want it tight enough that your threads are not hanging down. So to cast on, you're going to have the tail on towards you. You're going to have the ball of yarn away from you. You're going to take these two strands that are hanging down. You're going to put your pointer finger and your thumb through the middle of them and lay that down between the two over here by your thumb. You're going to go under with your needle, over with this thread, and then through that loop, and then pull it like this, and then just tighten it back up with your fingers. So under, over, through, and tighten. Under, over, through, and tighten. Under, over, through, and tighten. And you're going to do that in this pattern 150 times. By doing that, it gives you a really nice finished off edge here so that on your completed project, you will have it so that it has more of a finished off edge here by doing that kind of a cast on stitch. So we've got these cast on. Now we're ready to knit and to purl. To do a knit stitch, just think, this is your anchor needle. This one is going to be in a knit stitch. You go, just remember, back, back, back. So your needle is going to go behind your anchor. The thread is going to come from the back. And I always loop my thread around my little finger like that just to keep the tension of the thread the way I need it to be. So you're going to hold it with your little finger and just kind of wrap your two fingers here. Keeps the tension the way that you want it to be all through, consistent through your Afghan. You're going to wrap from the back, from the right side to the left. So you're coming from the back, right side to the left, and then this comes up through and pulls that off. So thread is in the back, thread is in the back, needle to the back, come from the back, from the right to the left, and then lift that stitch off onto there. So once again, thread in the back, needle in the back, come from the back, right to the left, and pull that loop off. Now, I'm going to do one more so you can see what I'm doing here. Okay, now to purl, it's the opposite. It's front, front, front. So your thread has to be in the front. You're going to come from the top to the front of this needle here. You're going to wrap from the front, from the right to the left, and then pull that off. So once again, threads in the front, needle in the front, wrap from the front to behind, from the right to the left, pull that stitch off. Thread in the front, needle in the front, wrap around, pull that off. Once again, needle in the, or thread in the front, needle in the front, wrap around, and pull that off. So now you've got your, that's how you do your knit, that's how you do purl. In the seed stitch, you're going to do a knit and then a purl. So you bring that to the front, you do the purl stitch, then you do a knit stitch again, so back and knit, and then you're going to do a purl and bring that forward. In the seed stitch, you're going to do knit, purl, knit, purl, knit, purl all the way across. When you come back, you're going to knit the purls and you're going to purl the knits. Okay, when you're doing the seed stitch, in this segment, you actually start with the wrong side when you do row 1. Row 1 is the wrong side. So after you've got row 1 started, then I go back and I take one of these little markers and I will hook it onto the wrong side, and I'll just leave it there so you'll know that that is always the wrong side of the afghan, because it will tell you do this on the right side, do this on the wrong side. You will always know which side is the right side or the wrong side by keeping that marker there. You also, in this seed stitch, it is a knit 1, purl 1, knit 1, purl 1, knit 1, all the way through the whole row. When you come back on now the right side, you will knit the purls and purl the knits. And what that means is that if you did a knit stitch down here on this one down here, if you did a knit stitch, then the stitch right above it, the next stitch that you're going to do in the next row will be a purl stitch. So you can always be able to tell what you just did. Sometimes it's a little hard to see on the very first row, on the very first stitch, which to do, but come in and look at your second stitch. If that is a purl stitch, then you know you need to start with a knit stitch over here, or a purl stitch over here. That will be a knit stitch right above it. So if you did a knit stitch there, that will be a purl. So you can tell by the little shawl or the scarf around the neck. So if you have to leave in the middle of the project, when you come back, you'll be able to tell which stitch you need to start with, because it will either be the little scarf around the neck or it will be the shawl that you ended up with. Okay, that's everything for today. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.